What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life, coming at you on YouTube, and tonight I've got some football focus. We've got a blockbuster trade to kick off the NFL free agency period. This is insane. I just posted my Pittsburgh Steelers free agency targets video about 2 or 3 days ago. That's up on the channel right now. You can check out who I think position-wise and player-wise Pittsburgh should target. I talked a lot about wide receiver. I talked about guys like Darius Slayton or Tyler Lockett. Seattle had just cut Lockett. I talked about Pittsburgh trying to get a good, solid wide receiver number 2 into Pittsburgh for the first time in several years. Well, we got a wide receiver 2 in Pittsburgh. His name is George Pickens, because the wide receiver 1 we just got is DK Metcalf, 6-year Seattle Seahawks player, top 5 NFL receiver, absolute monster, one of the strongest, biggest, most physical downhill threats. He's got the winning attitude. DK Metcalf is a star. Pittsburgh has just traded a 2025 second-round pick and a 6th and 7th round pick swap to the Seattle Seahawks for DK Metcalf and signed DK Metcalf to an extension, a 5-year, $150 million extension. So not only is DK Metcalf now a Pittsburgh Steeler, but he's going to be here most likely for the next 5 years. $30 million a year for 5 years, 5-year, $150 million extension. DK Metcalf is a Steeler, and he's here to stay. Again, Metcalf is not the world's best route runner, but he's physical. He's great at body positioning. He's got good straight line speed. He's one of the strongest receivers in the league. His attitude is one of the toughest in the league. He is one of the hardest guys to guard in the NFL. Big, deep threat. The dude's an absolute monster. And Pittsburgh went out and made a statement. Omar Khan said receiver was a big priority for him. I talked about it being one of the biggest things for us, and I was going to be happy settling for a Lockett or a Slayton. Seattle is blowing up their team. They just traded Geno Smith to the Raiders a few days ago, just cut Tyler Lockett, and now just traded us DK Metcalf. Star receiver, and again, for a second-round pick, that is good value. I mean, who would we have drafted in the second round that's going to be as good as DK? If Pittsburgh goes D-tackle in the first round, and they were going to go for a second-round receiver, they were not going to find somebody with a proven track record for 6 years in the NFL, who's still 27 years old, still young, still in his athletic prime, still reaching his all-time prime when he's been an all-pro level receiver for 6 years in the NFL. His low in the NFL, even as a rookie, he's barely missed any games. I think he's missed like 3 or 4 games in his entire career. His low in yardage in 6 seasons is 900 yards. He has never finished in the NFL below 900 yards. We've been getting production from our wide receiver 2 for the last couple of years of 200 and 300 yards. That's all they've been giving us. DK Metcalf's low is 900 yards. He's played 6 seasons all for Seattle. In those 6 years in the NFL, he's got 438 catches, 6,324 yards. Yes, 6,324 yards in 6 seasons. An average of over 1,000 yards a season. 438 catches, 6,324 yards, 48 touchdowns in 6 years. 3 of those 6 years were 1,000-yard seasons. Every other season was 900 or above. I think last season he had 960-something, so he's right around 1,000 again last year. The dude's an absolute beast. He's a legit wide receiver 1. He's one of the top 5 or so wide receivers in the NFL. What this means as far as dominoes go, pretty interesting. Number 1, George Pickens is in his last year of his deal, and he's up for an extension. I don't know if he's going to be happy seeing another receiver get signed here and get such a big contract, because the chances of Pittsburgh paying 2 guys this much money is very, very low, especially after we just extended TJ Watt today on a, I think, 3-year contract. So we extended Watt, paying him a lot of money, and now paying DK Metcalf the all-time highest contract for a Pittsburgh Steeler at 5 years, $150 million. So George Pickens likely not going to be coming back after next season. This could be his last season coming up here. So now do the Steelers try and take a season and play with 2 stacked wide receivers, 2 of the best physical ball control guys, and 2 of the best deep threats in the NFL? Now all of a sudden you got 2 straight line guys who are 2 of the best guys in the NFL at deep balls playing one-on-one. You can't double team both those guys. And if you try to, now all of a sudden the middle of the field is wide open because you got these 2 beasts running downfield. Pickens now with the second best corner on him. And now the middle of the field's open for guys like Roman Wilson, Calvin Austin, who was a big middle of the field guy last year, and Pat Freiermuth. So you've got the world is your oyster now. But do they try and trade George Pickens and get back that second round pick and basically consider DK as an upgrade? If you trade George Pickens for a second rounder, you basically got DK and extended him. You got DK for nothing and extended him for basically a 6th and 7th round pick swap. Do you trade Pickens and get that second rounder back and consider DK your receiver of the future? Do you try and find a way to keep both guys, whether it's just for this season or beyond, and have a super stacked two receiver roster like that with a bunch of young guys behind them, like the Bengals have done with Chase and Higgins, like the Eagles have done with A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith? Do you try and do a stacked team like that? What does this mean for quarterback? Pittsburgh has been sending an offer, it seems like the reports are, to Sam Darnold, top free agent quarterback out there right now. Is Sam Darnold going to be the new quarterback with these new weapons here? A lot of guys are going to want to come here. Justin Fields seems like the obvious choice for us. We have not reached a deal with Justin Fields as of midnight tonight, the night before the legal tampering period starts. Also, Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf just attended a gala recently together. They're very good friends. DK Metcalf teared up when he saw Russell in Denver. They're very close friends. So does Russell Wilson now come back on a team-friendly deal? Even with this gigantic extension deal, Pittsburgh still has, I think they came in with $65 million plus the restructuring of Cole Holcomb. So Pittsburgh still got $35 million this year to play with. They've got to sign a quarterback. Does this bring Russell back? Does it bring Aaron Rodgers in? Does it bring Sam Darnold in? What does it do for Justin Fields in his offer? Aaron Jones just signed in Minnesota today. 2 years, $20 million, $10 million a year. That's going to up Najee Harris's thing. Probably won't see him back in Pittsburgh. But yes, the first big domino of the free agency time has started. Officially, it starts on Wednesday at 4 p.m., but the legal tampering period for guys to officially start signing guys is tomorrow, Monday, the 10th at 12 p.m. noon. So tomorrow at noon, I'm sure I'll be seeing you guys again. I'm going to be staying up following this story, looking into this. But as of right now, we started off getting the best possible receiver we could have. A top 5 receiver has been signed, traded for at a good value, and extended for 5 years here in Pittsburgh. Now we've got Metcalf and Pickens together. For how long? What does this mean for the quarterbacks and for GP? We'll find out soon, maybe even as soon as tomorrow. I will see you guys with all the Pittsburgh Steelers signings. When we lose somebody to another team or we sign someone significant or a couple at a time, I'll bring you guys those videos as the updates roll in and keep talking about it. So right now, DK Metcalf in Pittsburgh, that is the biggest signing we have made in several years. I'm very excited for the possibilities of this. There is a wide receiver 1 and 2 as legit stars right now in Pittsburgh. See you guys tomorrow for free agency. I got to get some sleep at some point. Go Steelers.